Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the second episode of Tibbin's Talks. It's been a while since I've done one of these where I've just spoken to the camera and talked to you about a subject, but I just haven't really seen a need, and I've been really focused on getting content out to you. So we've had the Grimsby Town Road to Glory career mode. First season done. I am into the second season. That'll be coming to you really soon. Just got to get on with editing. And yeah, I've had a busy time myself, so it's been difficult to sort of just sit down and talk about any football related matters. We've had the FIFA 17 tournament vlog, which I hope you enjoyed. And I've got some new content coming as well. Tibbin and Friends went up the other day as well. So do go and check that out. Some Rocket League there for you. So there's going to be a lot of new content coming to the channel, but I wanted to make a Tibbin's Talks today and talk to you today, as you've seen from the title of the video, about the new World Cup format. Now, I know there's going to be a big debate about this as to whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, and I'm not really going to, nail my colours to the mast just yet, because it hasn't been decided yet where the extra places will go. Obviously, current format, 32 teams qualify. Okay, so I just wanted to take you through how things are going for this current World Cup. Okay, so for the current World Cup in Russia in 2018, so next year now, we've got 13 berths for the European sides, plus Russia as the host, 5 for African sides, 4 for Asian, 4 for South American, and 3 for North and Central America and Caribbean, and so that's CONCACAF, and then 2 for the winners of the Intercontinental Playoffs, which is Oceania, and then additional teams from Asia, South America, and CONCACAF. So it's, they're your 32 places, of which nearly half are European. And obviously, I'm here in England and sort of support England, and you've got the rest of the home nations. Obviously, we did really well, all of us except Scotland. Sorry, Scotland, getting to the Euros, and obviously Wales had a brilliant tournament, getting to the semi-finals, and Northern Ireland also did very well. England, we won't talk about England, and Republic of Ireland did pretty well as well, getting out of their group. So really good in terms of the home nations in the Euros, but in regards to the World Cup, how many extra places are the European teams going to get? I very much doubt we'll get any more, to be fair. I think maybe 2, maybe 3 extra places, and how many more teams is that going to allow in sort of smaller nations in Europe? I don't think it's going to make a big difference to Europe, this expanded World Cup. The big difference it's going to make is Asia, Africa, CONCACAF. All those sort of countries are going to have a much bigger representation at the World Cup. And in my opinion, that is a good thing. We want to see more of, Ivory Coast. There's some brilliant teams in Africa and Asia. You've got Ivory Coast there, you've got Ghana, Cameroon, and then over in Asia, you've got Japan, China, South Korea. Some really good teams emerging, and sometimes they'll miss out, it will be good to see those smaller teams on the world stage getting represented. Brilliant for their countries as well. It's always a massive boost for economies to have their country playing in a World Cup. You've got people going out to bars and pubs and stuff to watch these games. So in that respect, it's good because it's going to be making them money. Of course, it's also going to be making FIFA a lot of money, and as we know, they've had their struggles with money and corruption. Not going to go into that at all. But it's going to be a big money maker for them to have 48 teams in the World Cup. It's an extra 16 teams in the World Cup, and the format, which I've just been reading about, is going to look like this. If I can, where I can find it. Yes. So the option that Infantino wants is to have 16 groups of 3, with the top 2 qualifying for a last 32 knockout stage. So essentially, all those groups, and it's going to go down to 32 teams, as it would be, in Russia 2018. which means there's going to be 80 games in total, which is an extra 16 games to what we usually have. So in terms of football fans, we're going to get it really good. We're going to have lots more football to watch. But the question is it going to be the football we want to watch? You are going to have smaller nations, and as much as I said, we've got good emerging nations coming through in Africa, Asia, etc. You are going to get a few teams get through that are, let's be fair, not going to have well-known stars, and probably not. They're probably going to get beaten 4-5-0 by the likes of Argentina, Brazil, Germany, etc. And are they games we're going to sit down and watch? You're going to go to your mate. Oh, did you see Argentina versus New Zealand? What a game! I know they've qualified before, but we're going to be getting those types of teams where it's, normally they're not going to cause an upset. Of course, there is a chance they could cause an upset, and people could be talking about it for years to come. But you could have two small teams against each other. Is that going to create a good game? It's all if, buts, and maybes at the moment, which is why it's hard to say if it will be a good thing. And I don't blame them for wanting to try something new. Of course, as Infantino has said, we have to move with the times, and football is emerging across the world, across the globe. Loads of places now are playing football. I can't remember which country it was, but is it Somalia? I think have got their first football league. I think it was Somalia, one of the war-torn African countries. Which is great. We want that. We want, as a massive football fan myself, I want the whole world to be playing football and enjoying it, because it is such a great sport. It's great for fitness. It's great to watch. The excitement, the buzz you get from it, and the more countries that are playing it, the better. And if their nation is getting to the World Cup and they deserve to get there, fair enough. But we're now opening it up to 48 teams. Is that too many? Because you make it easier for England to get there. Obviously they've cocked up a few times, but we're going to be getting nations that maybe they don't deserve to get there, because at the moment they've got to work so hard to get there, because there are only 32 teams and it's the cream of the crop, and we're not going to be getting the cream of the crop anymore by opening it up to 48 teams. The other concern as well that I mentioned, 80 games. Now, of course, maybe good for us, but for the players that is going to be exhausting. They're going to be playing a lot more football, especially the teams that are going through to the final. So in the long run, is that going to make the final worse? By the final, they'll be just like, oh my god, I can't even be bothered, just let them win. Are they going to have the energy? I know they're fit footballers. They should be fine in this day and age to cope with that amount of football. But you've got to think of the knock-on then for the next season. Will the Premier League then, as a result, after that World Cup and after future World Cups, that football not be as good for the first part of the season? As I said, there's a lot of scepticism, and you don't know how things are going to play out. So I definitely think it's worth having a go and trying out this 48-team World Cup and seeing what happens. Sometimes you try out a new tournament structure, whatever, and it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Treasure Trove Trophy, and it's going to be interesting to see. By making those groups smaller as well, it puts much more pressure on you to get those wins. Of course, only one goes out, two go through, but you could lose one game and then it's all on that next game. You have to win it. So you'll definitely up the ante in terms of that little group stage bit, and the rest is knockout football, which I do prefer to watch, because a group stage, you're thinking, oh, if we draw this one, then we're bound to win the next one. People play it a bit more tactically. When it's knockout, you have to go for it. Doesn't matter who it is, what it is. You just got to go for it. You've got to win it. So I think having more knockout rounds in a way is good, and a shorter group stage is good. There's stuff pops on my laptop and ruins this. It's a difficult one to call. I mean, obviously, Infantino thinks this is the way to go, and he's been made FIFA president for a reason, and I'm hoping for his sake that this pays off. Yeah, so obviously we have a bit of a wait. Obviously, it's not until the 2026 World Cup that this will kick in. Obviously, we've got Russia beforehand, and then Qatar. Can't wait for that. And yeah, it's a little way off, so we don't know yet how many teams will qualify. As I was talking at the start of the video, we don't know how many teams will qualify from each section. As I said, I think the majority of those extra places will go to Asia, Africa, etc. But we don't know yet. It could be even bigger for Europe with 48 teams qualifying. Maybe they'll up it to 20, 22. Maybe you could have 22 teams going from Europe. I mean, as it is, there's going to be 14 of the 32 from Europe in the World Cup next year in Russia. So, perhaps we are going to get a lot more European teams, and for our sake, that is more interesting because we know more players from Europe. They come over to the Premier League. We know more about their leagues, etc. From playing games like FIFA and stuff like that. So, from a personal point of view, that is good. But we also want to get to know what's going on around the globe and those leagues, and it'd be good to get them represented on this World Cup stage and seeing the players that ply their trade in those different countries. So it's going to be interesting. I know it's very much a hot topic for fans, as some of them are adamant, this is going to be awful, you're ruining the World Cup and the prestige of it, and others are going, well, I can't wait to see smaller teams and see more people represented. So it's a tricky one. I mean, when I first heard it, I thought it was stupid, but the more you think about it, the more sense it makes in a way. So I think it's definitely worth a go. If it doesn't work, then you move on, you go back to the old format maybe. I don't know, that's probably not possible, but let me know in the comments what you think about this change to the World Cup format, having 48 teams now. Do you think it's a good thing, or do you think it is ruining the competition and devaluing it? It'd be really interesting to hear your thoughts, so definitely comment. Be good to have a little discussion on that. Yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Inside today, the last Tibbin's Talks was out in the sun. It was lovely, but it's winter now and it's cold, and I don't feel great, so I didn't really fancy going out there. But hopefully it'll be sunny again when I do the next one. Hopefully that won't be as far away next time, because it is quite nice just to have a little chat about football subjects. And yeah, if you put your comments in as well, makes it even better, and allows us to have a dialogue, dialogue between people. And I love talking about football, any type of sport really, so definitely interested to hear what you have to say on this 2026 48 team World Cup expansion. So do let me know. That is going to be it for this though. A lot more videos coming soon. Hoping to get another Grimsby Town video up in the next couple of days, as well as another Tibbin and Friends probably early next week. So watch out for them. Go and check out the Grimsby Town Road to Glory career mode if you haven't seen it, and check out all the other videos on my channel. Just watch them all. Have a binge. That is going to be it though for this Tibbin's Talks. Thank you very much for watching. Do drop a like and subscribe if you're new and you like the video, etc. And follow me on Twitter at Tibbin27, and Twitch is where I live stream. Tibbin27 again for that, to catch me doing lots of different stuff like GTA, getting some Steep on there soon as well. So check it all out. That is it for this one though. Thank you very much for watching. But for now, it's Tibbin27 out.